All right, welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and here we are. It's Thursday night, so I am doing some drafting tonight, which is always great. It's still new. It's fresh as far as we have a lot more cards revealed after this Saturday with the community event where we saw the rest of the set finally get spoiled. I think we added anywhere between 11 and 15 cards, so that's really good there. And yeah, so we'll be able to draft and kind of go through some of those. But if it's your first time here, we'll be talking about what draft looks like, how you can kind of prepare for it, some synergies you're going to find with some cards. I may talk a little bit about quantum theory when I'm picking some cards. And by that, it's usually about like when a card is good. Some cards are good early on. Some cards are good when you're behind. Some cards are good when you're winning. And just kind of identifying what those cards look like. We'll be using Forcetable, and we'll just be doing about 2 or 3 different drafts. I'll be playing anywhere between 2 to 3 games with each deck we build, and just moving on back to draft and trying to draft a few different leaders. So it's always a fun time. I'm excited to kind of just find some new synergies, especially after some of these releases, and it's going to be great. Chase TCG saying hi. What's going on, man? Hopefully you're excited, especially after some of these releases. Let's just go ahead and get into it and see who our first 3 leaders are. So in Star Wars Unlimited, when you draft, if you're not familiar, you're going to be opening up your packs and you're going to be pulling out your leaders first. So unlike other games like Magic the Gathering or even, I guess in Destiny, you'd have to open them all up. But in Magic the Gathering, you actually open 1 pack at a time. Because of how Star Wars functions, you're going to open up all 3 packs. You're going to open them, just pop them open, and the leaders are going to be facing a different direction than the rest of your cards in the pack. So identify which one is showing the leaders, pull them out, and you're going to start off by pulling out 3 leaders, and you're going to pick one of them, and you're going to pass the other 2 to the left. In this setup, we're given Grand Moff Tarkin, Director Krennic, and Jyn Erso. I'm a big Krennic fan. I'm a big Grand Moff Tarkin fan. Jyn Erso, a little bit better in a limited format like draft or sealed. So I think these are all great ones to pick. I've played all of these before. There's always an argument for Tarkin because he can kind of make your units stronger, right? As long as you're drafting a lot of Imperial units, you can really take advantage of his ability, which is you can pay 1, exhaust him, put an experience token on an Imperial unit, or you can attack to do the same thing. So we call this more of like an action ability. Because it's going to always cost you like an action to do it. Krennic, however, has what we call a static ability. His ability is each friendly damage unit gets +1/+0. So whether he's a leader in the grounds arena or he's a leader that hasn't been deployed, you're always going to get this bonus. It's static. It's happening all the time. He also doesn't have any restrictions as far as Imperial or Rebel. He's not looking at traits of a card like Tarkin is. He's actually just looking to see if you're damaged. So I'm going to pick Krennic because he's kind of the better option here. Also, I'm a big fan of blue-black. So let's go with Krennic as our first choice. And then we're left with Sabine Wren and Grand Moff Tarkin. All right. These 2 are also really good. Again, we've already kind of made an argument for Tarkin, where Sabine has the advantage of being a little bit more aggressive, and she gives us the option of playing hero in red. Krennic, however, limits us to blue and black. So our next option here, when we're handed these 2 cards, we can decide if we want to go with more villainy aspects, these black icons right here, except we really are committing there. Our 3rd card could also be villain. And if we're not passing a lot of villain cards, we may run into some issues. Or we kind of play it safe and say we grabbed a hero, we grabbed a villain, just in case we get stuck with some cards that don't work. I think we're going to play it safe. We're going to take Sabine Wren just in case. And let's see what our 3rd pick is. IG-88. IG-88 seems to be a card that's probably going to get passed around a lot at some tables, so I'd be ready for that. He's red-black. The only problem with IG-88 in most constructed, what they would call premier format, is just his health. That 4 health isn't solid. It can die to a lot of different things. We're talking about like open fire, takedown. Those types of things are really big. And when you look at other cards that are like Overwhelming Barrage or Command, Strike True, 4 isn't that hard to obtain. as far as dealing damage. So you're probably going to get stuck with IG a lot. If you love IG-88, work with it. Build around it. You can definitely do that, and we may find ourselves doing that today. So let's go ahead and pick IG-88 because we have to, and that leaves us with Krennic, IG, and Sabine Wren. And now we jump into a very traditional draft. So we've drafted our leaders. We know what colors we're looking for. We know we really want to focus on villain and preferably blue. But if we find some good red cards and we don't get enough villain, we know we can go into heroic with Sabine Wren. If you're unfamiliar of these aspects right here, these colors, black represents villains, white here represents heroic and or heroes, and red and blue are just some other types in the game. Blue representing vigilance and red representing aggression. So one's more of a slower way of playing and one's more of a quicker way of playing. So let's go ahead and draft our first pack. Ooh, Mace Windu. Mace Windu right out of the box is what you would call a bomb. So he's red-white, so he would make sure you're going in that Sabine package. He has an ambush ability, so when you play him, he can immediately untap as long as you can attack, if you choose to attack a ground unit in his arena. So he's 7 cost though, so that's difficult. That's difficult with red-white. We definitely would have to get some good green support to make him work. What I do like about Mace Windu is he has the great title of Party Crasher. So referencing his time in, I want to say Clone Wars, where he says party's over. And just he says that. And so they give him this, and it's pretty great. I really wish they would have focused a little bit more on his fighting style, which I believe is still the Vapod fighting style. The ability to kind of use the force with your own physical body. If you've ever seen the animated Clone Wars series that Cartoon Network did 2 seasons of, it's really great. You see Mace Windu like literally boxing out these droids as if they're speed bags, just taking them out left and right, pieces flying everywhere, and it's really neat. So I like Mace Windu a lot. He's definitely a commitment that I don't want to go into, but if you got this pack in a real life draft, it's definitely what you'd be looking at, right? You have the color, you have the bomb, you probably don't want anyone else to deal with it. When I look at everything else in this pack, it doesn't necessarily fit our Krennic package so much. There's an argument that Imperial Interceptor could do that because it comes into play, it deals damage. There's just a lot of other good cards here, but Mace Windu may not make it back. And so we're going to go ahead and take him. If we get stuck with this heroic aspect, it may come in handy. So that's our first pick. I want to focus on Director Krennic with that blue-black ability, and we get really good cards to support him already when we see Rugged Survivor and Death Trooper. Death Trooper damages himself on entry, and he can damage another unit. Rugged Survivors want to be damaged so they can do more damage. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Death Trooper right now because he has a way of dealing more damage to units. I think that's great. Pack 3. Pack 3 is very hero focused. We see the Ghost, Consular Security Force, Bendu, not really light there. A little bit of green. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Open Fire because this is a great card. Again, this is one that you can use to immediately kill people who are playing IG-88. Just take out their leader as soon as it's played. Low cost. It only costs you 3, so you'll be able to take care of most units. So we're going to go ahead and take that one because removal's always going to be great in a limited format. Ooh, here comes the tough part. We got two solid choices for a Krennic build here. We have Scout Bike Pursuer, who has the grit ability, so the more damage it takes, the more damage it can do. It also has 4 health. That means with Krennic on board, you could do about 5 points of damage max, and that's really great. He can also be played on turn 1. Your next option is Cell Block Guard. It's a black only aspect unit, and it has Sentinel. There's not a lot there that I need to do more to convince anyone why that's good, right? It doesn't limit you on what colors you're playing if you're playing villain, and it's a 3/3 that costs you 3, and it can block your ground arena. So both are good. I don't expect either of them to come back. I'm going to take the Cell Block Guard though, because if we get stuck with some red-black, then we're fine. Again, right now, if we see something that really pops up for Krennic, we should take it, but there's always going to be some other things that we may, in case we need to shift to a IG-88 focus. So we're going to take the Cell Block Guard. He works with Krennic, he works with IG. It's just kind of a better play. All right. Pick five of pack 1 here. We got Occupier Siege Tank. It's great. It's Imperial, has grit. Really works with that Krennic. Red can be our secondary color with Krennic, so we don't have a problem with that. And we also have Rugged Survivors. Both these units come out at 5. Both of them can hit pretty hard, but Rugged Survivor is going to last just a little bit longer. So we're going to go ahead and take Rugged Survivors. Sabine Wren, Yoda, Occupier Siege Tank. You know, I'm going to take the Siege Tank. Rogue Squadron Skirmisher is also really good in a draft format because it's one of the few cards that can return a unit from your discard pile and put it in your hand, especially one of the few cards that can do this in the heroism aspect. So if you really like heroism and you want to have that, what they call recursion in games, bringing a card back into play, this is a good way of doing it. Now, you want to make sure you're drafting 2-cost cards, so things like Battlefield Marine, Sabine Wren, those types of cards would be really great to bring in, or even like an upgrade that you lost. I think for right now, I'm going to take Occupier Siege Tank. He works in all 3 builds we're doing, so let's just go ahead and take that now. Pick 7, we're almost getting to the point where our cards are going to come back around, and this pack is mostly in all the colors we're really not playing. So we have a red card, which would be okay. It is Rebel. And we have Imperial Interceptor and Fifth Brother. I think for the joy of it, I'm going to take Fifth Brother. I'm a big fan of him, especially with Krennic. He has that grit ability as well. And here we are at pack 8. Pack 8, we have Make an Opening, Battlefield Marine, Admiral Ozzel. Good choices here. Ozzel's fun because he can use an action to put an Imperial unit into play, and it immediately readies. As long as you're going before your opponent, then you're using this card to your advantage. If you wait till after, if you use this after your opponent, you're taking a chance because if they exhaust a unit and you use this ability, they can also ready a unit. So essentially, Admiral Ozzel's ability has the possibility of unexhausting 2 units. You'll ready them and they'll be ready to go. So it's really important if you have Ozzel on the field to always use him first so your opponent never gets that advantage and you get to take advantage of it yourself. I'm going to take Make an Opening, I think. Ozzel is very Imperial focused, so just in case, we have another option there with a blue aspect only card. And finally, we come back around to our original pack. Force is with you, Consular Security Force, Waylay. We're going to go ahead and take the Interceptor just because we haven't taken any spaceships yet. Space Arena is always going to be important, and this unit has the ability of dealing damage when it comes into play. That's 3 damage immediately to another space unit. There's nothing wrong with that when you're paying 4. Getting 2 types of effects off 1 unit is great. All right, same thing here. Not a lot to pick, but I'm going to go with the Fang Fighter, the foil version here. It is a single red, and it's what we call a utility card. So it's a low cost, and it has the ability of defeating an upgrade as soon as you play it. So unlike the Imperial Interceptor, which does damage, this you'll be able to remove a lightsaber, a shield token, experience token, a protector, electro staff, things like that. Let's go ahead and grab it right now. All right, 4 cards left. We're in the pick 11 of the first pack. None of these really fit what we're doing, but then again, we may go in a different direction. I think we'll just go ahead and take something fun here. I'm going to take the Ghost just because I like it. And, you never know what we're going to do with Sabine. With this next pack, I'm going to go ahead and take the Gunship. Nope. Yeah, I'll take the Gunship. Everything in there is fun. I just don't really think I'm going to use any of those yellow cards. You had Ambush, you had Shield, you had actually double Ambush and Shield. So now the next pack we have Rallying Cry, which is double red aggression. Each friendly unit gets raid 2 this phase. This is a great card to pair with Sabine and IG-88, but you are committing to that double red. We're not really there yet, but our only other option is Lothal Insurgent. That really requires you to focus on playing multiple units in a turn. And again, it's going to be yellow. We haven't really committed to yellow. Let's go ahead and stick with red. Final card that gets passed to us is Rogue Squadron Skirmisher. I was talking about this. It's a good card, and if it's not on the table, I'm okay with that. So we finished the end of pack 1. And what you should always do is take a quick look of what you've drafted. Now, everyone at the table is going to be excited to kind of get to the next pack, so I always advise you doing this really quickly. Luckily, Forcetable organizes everything for us, but if you're ever waiting for your opponent to pass you something, and you've already handed off your cards, it's always good to kind of quickly organize your cards as fast as possible. Again, try not to take up too much time because you don't want to slow down your group. But if you can organize them in like units and events, it's going to help you out, or just organize it in color real quick. Here we can see we're pretty split. We got 2 blue cards, 1 red, white, 1 red, black, 1 red, 1 black. As far as space, we're leaning more towards red. And as far as events, well, we're not really limiting ourselves to hero or villain. It's mostly just red, blue. So these next couple packs, this next pack, we have to make a decision on what we're doing. And I think these next 3 picks are really going to point us in that direction. So we're either committing to Krennic, Sabine, or IG-88. Right now, I'm leaning towards Krennic. All right, our rare in the pack is Wedge Antilles. Each friendly vehicle gets +1/+1 and gains ambush. He's green-white. He's 5/5 as a rebel. He's a great cost, but he doesn't do anything what we're doing. So no benefit here for us. I'm going to move on. We're going to leave the rare. We're going to be that group of people who pass the rare over so we can make a solid deck to try to win more packs in the tournament, right? That's kind of the plan here. You either come into these events looking to have fun and grab some more cards at a good cost because you're going to buy packs anyway, or you're hoping to build something good and win some more prizes. So either way, as long as you go in having a good time, you'll have it. So the choices here for Krennic are all 6 cost, honestly. Ruthless Raider, that deals 2 damage when it comes into play and 2 damage when it leaves, and it deals 2 damage to a base and a unit. Cloud City 6 cost units. ATST with Overwhelm, 6/7, and another Walker, that's the Academy Defense Wong. It's a 5/5 with Sentinel, and it gives all your damage units experience tokens. So let's talk about this real quick with Quantum Theory. The quick primer is there are cards that are just going to be good in certain stages. Some are good early on, some are good later. Some are good when you're winning, and some are good when you're losing. A card that's only really good when you're losing is Academy Defense Walker. You need to have units in play, but they need to be damaged, so you need to be a little bit behind. It's not a card you put out necessarily when you have a lot of when you have a strong board presence. You could, but it's just a 5/5 Sentinel at that point you're paying 6 for. If your board is a little bit damaged, you'll benefit from it. If you're playing Krennic, it makes it a little bit better. A card that's good whether you're, winning or losing is Ruthless Raider. Comes into play and deals damage to the base. Well, that's great, right? It's going to keep us ahead, or it's going to get us ahead. Same thing, it's going to deal 2 damage to a unit when it comes into play as well. So when we play it, we know we're either getting further ahead in the game or catching up to our opponent. We're also okay with it dying, right? So a lot of good choices here. I have a feeling this card's going to come back. I don't think the Ruthless Raider is. We're going to take the Raider. Next pack, ooh, a Chewbacca. That'd be great, but not in our colors. As far as some of the colors we're looking at, which have mostly been red and blue, we have Force Surrender. This is a new card that got released this weekend. You pay 6. That's a lot. You draw 2 cards. Period. Okay, that's good. Each opponent whose base you've damaged this phase discards 2 cards from their hand. I like the card. I really do, but it is slow, right? So you need to damage your opponent. You got to hope they have cards in hand in order to get the real advantage from it, right? So this does no damage to it. So really you're just getting hand advantage on your opponent, but you need at least 1 action to hit your opponent's base. Your opponent at this point, let's say it's turn 5, or at the earliest when we can play this, what if they have no cards left in hand? What if they put one down as a resource and then they play the next card? It's a unit. They have no cards in hand now, and you had to spend your one action damaging. Like, it's very situational. So that's why I'm passing. All that to say, I'm passing on it. That really gives us a couple of better choices here. Mission Briefing, it's lower cost. You draw 2 cards, choose yourself, right? Cantina Braggart gets stronger the more damage it takes. Or sorry, Cantina Braggart has raid 2, but it has a good health with 3. So it can stay alive a little bit more. It comes out on turn 1. Wilderness Fighter comes out on turn 2 at the earliest and has shield and a good amount of health as well. Either of these cards work well with Krennic because they have good health and come out early on, and they're just a threat to deal with. We're going to go ahead and take the Cantina Braggart just because I want some low-cost units to play early, and it fits, again, with Sabine and IG-88. Next up here, pick 3. So pick 3 in here. Another Chewbacca. Wow. If only I was playing some Chewbaccas. Playing yellow. We got some good stuff here. Partisan Insurgent, Wolf. I really like Wolf. Some strong green, but I think we're not going to see that green. I'm going to go ahead and grab... Wow, I really want Wolf, but Partisan Insurgent, again, has the better health, can give other red units raid 2. It's just going to work better with Krennic or with the other 2 leaders. Hey, a new card. Guerrilla Attack Pod, yellow-white. Sorry, yellow-white. Red-white. Guerrilla Attack Pod, it costs 6, and it's a 4/6 walker. Doesn't look as cool. I like the background, but as far as like the regular design, it's always like very basic walker. It has grit, so the more damage it takes, the more it can deal, which is awesome. And when played, if the base has 15 or more damage on it, ready this unit. So this card is definitely the better of a lot of the walkers the Imperials have. It immediately comes into play ready, and the more damage it takes, the stronger it becomes. You don't see that with the ATST or the Defense Walker. So I think it's good, but I don't really feel like we're going to be playing that Sabine. So I'm going to go ahead and take this Occupier Siege Tank. I think those Siege Tanks are going to be fun with Krennic. I want to try them out. Well, this pack just really made it easy for me. We're going to be picking that Death Star Stormtrooper here. He's a 3/1. It only cost you 1 to put out. So he's not really going to benefit from Krennic, but he's easy to put out, and he deals some good damage. No new cards in this pack, though. So I think we're good there. We'll just pick Krennic or Stormtrooper. Move on. Here comes Wolf. I'm going to take the Wolf. I wanted him earlier. Let's take him. No other blue cards in there. I did see a fun Ezra, some more snow speeders. Anyone in this pod playing green and green-white is going to have some fun. I know that. We'll take the First Legion Snowtrooper because when he attacks, as long as they're damaged, the unit is damaged, it's going to gain Overwhelm and a +2/+0. He also has 3 health, so he can take a couple of hits. All right, nothing here. I really need some space units. I'm going to go ahead and take Ozzel because we've been a little bit more committed to Imperial units. So I don't mind grabbing Ozzel out of that pack. And we're going to take another First Legion Snowtrooper. So we're getting a lot of low-cost units, which is good. We want to make sure we're playing things on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. But we really haven't found our bomb outside of trying to overwhelm our opponent. So we got to get there. I think at this point I'm going to hate draft a card I don't want to see. It's going to be Bounty Hunter Crew. It has ambush, and they can bring back an event from their discard pile to their hand. Just not something I want to deal with. Same thing. I'm going to take Strike True because it's a kill card. Has possibility of being killed. So I'm going to go and take that. Let's get it out of the card pool and see what I get now. Wow, nothing good. I guess I'll take this Rallying Cry. That may come in handy if I get a, like, Tarkin Town. And the rest of the cards don't really fit what we're doing, so they're just going to be Draft Shaft. All right, we finished Pack 2. Everyone's always ready for Pack 3 because you're finalizing what you're doing. We need to take a quick look at what we're missing here. We have some low-cost units. Our big ones are going to be the Occupier Siege Tank and the Rugged Survivors. As far as space units, we only have 3 we know we're going to play. So we need some space, we need some events, and we may need like a couple of like good bombs. So let's see what we can get. Final pack. Academy Defense Walker Foil. like it. Look at these cards. We got ATST, Ruthless Raider, Academy Defense Walker, Inferno 4. Good stuff for what we're doing. And check out this new one, Underworld Thug. He's vanilla. You know, he has nothing going on. He's colorless. He has no aspect. He costs 2, and he's a 2/3 Underworld unit. Looks pretty cool to me. I believe it's, is it a Weequay or a Nikto? I think it's a Nikto based on the spikes. I don't know. Something coming out of its face. I'm going Nikto. Going Nikto on that one. If anyone knows specifically, feel free to correct me, but I'm going to go with Nikto. So now with the options of the Raider again, I think I really want this Raider. I love Academy Defense Walker and its foil, but the Raider again is going to be putting us ahead if we're behind. So we're going to go and pick the Raider. Another Raider, but also Imperial Interceptor. The difference here is Imperial Interceptor needs to hit wants to hit a unit, another space unit, and if your opponents aren't playing enough space, well, then you're kind of wasting that 3. I'm going to take the Raider right now. We need space units. There wasn't really anything else in that pack. Ooh, this is a good pack here. So red, black, blue, focusing on those colors. Foil Scout Bike Pursuer. Has grit, can be really tough with Krennic. Vanquish, defeat a non-leader unit. Deal with your opponent's bombs. Maybe they play that ATST. Maybe they play that Podwalker. And Imperial Interceptor again. So I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take the... Wow. I'm going to take the Scout Bike Pursuer. That card isn't going to come back around, as we can see. And here comes a great bomb, Emperor Palpatine himself. He does cost 8, but once he hits the board, he hits the board. So he has Overwhelm, and he deals 6 damage divided as I choose among my enemy units. So I think he's a solid pick. He gives us that bomb we need, hoping to obtain in our pack. And here's another new card, Frontier ATRT. Popular during the Clone Wars here. It's a 2-leg small walker. It costs 4. And when you control another vehicle unit, this unit gains ambush after you play it. So we do have a couple of vehicles, mostly space. It's also 4, so that's pretty good. We also have the Wilderness Fighter here, comes out on turn 2, has that shield, and we have Moment of Peace to give the units shield. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Frontier ATRT. Try some new stuff. Pick 6 here. Nothing really up our alley. I love Kanan Jarrus, but, you know, not for us. I'm going to go ahead and take a Death Star Stormtrooper. Now, if we were playing a Force user besides the 5th brother, if we had any more, I would run Force Throw. I think Force Throw is a great card, especially when you have a Force user in play, because you can deal damage and remove something. But since we don't have that many Force users, we're going to take the Fang Fighter for some more space support. Nothing in here really in our colors. Infiltrator skill's okay. We're going to take it for that Saboteur and that +1/+1 ability. Jedha Agitator, and Underworld Thug would be our options here. Agitator does not take any hits very well, but once he hits play and you start using him, as long as your leader's in play, he's good. I think we have a great leader, but I'd rather make sure that our units have health to take advantage of what our leader Krennic does. Here's a new card for you, Disarm. It's a tactic. It costs 1, so tactic's great. But you can give an enemy unit -4, -0 for this phase. So it's not bad. It's going to stall. It's going to buy you some time. It does exactly what yellow wants to do. You know, maybe that's what you need. But I'm going to hate draft the Bounty Hunter crew again. And now I'm going to hate draft that Bright Hope. All right, Guerrilla Attack Pod, Disabling Fang Fighter, and the Agitator. I'm going to take the Fang Fighter again. Let's take that Mando ship. Keep it going. Tag or Tactical Advantage. We'll take Tag. And another Rogue Squadron Skirmisher. So we've drafted all 3 packs, and now we're going to take a look at what we really have here. Do we have something we can build? I hope so. So we have 1 Ozzel, 2 Death Star Stormtroopers, the Cell Block Guard, a lot of red. Didn't get as much blue as I wanted, but that's okay, because I think putting this with Krennic is going to be a good idea. So a good amount of variety here. Some low-cost units. Most of our units are going to stop at 5, with our big ones being 6 and the Emperor being 8. The problem with the Emperor being 8 is I'm kind of hoping I can play him, right? Like if I'm playing the Emperor, I'm going to win. But I feel confident once I hit 6 that I'm going to have a good steady stream of damage coming. Can you imagine on turn 5 you put out a Raider, turn 6 you put out a Raider, turn 7 you put out a Raider? You've done 6 points of damage to a base and 6 points of damage to a unit, or to the units, without even attacking yet. I think that sounds so cool. I also think your opponent may just want to go to game 2 after that one. All right, upgrades, not so much, and we didn't really get many events. I'm going to regret not having that takedown, I think. So we got to be really careful on what units we allow to survive, which I think is why that Ruthless Raider is going to be really good. Let's build our deck here. We're going to go with Krennic, and we got to go with red as our base. We'll go ahead and take Kestro City because it's on theme. It's Imperial. Look at that nice Imperial logo in that building. And let's focus on the units we know we want to play first. Fifth Brother, yep. 4 health, gets stronger the more damage it has when it attacks. Scout Bike Pursuer has grit. Occupier Siege Tank has grit. Death Troopers damage themselves, didn't deal damage to units. Stormtroopers cannot take damage, but they hit hard. Cell Block Guard for that Sentinel ability. Braggart for that good amount of health. We'll take both Snow Troopers because they're Imperial, and they do some good work. They're great to throw down. The Insurgent, because again, good amount of health there, so they can stay alive with Krennic's ability. They make your red unit stronger. Survivors for the grit. Wolf, because I love the Saboteur, and bases can be healed this phase when he attacks. So I think that's going to be strong. The problem is, with him and Krennic, this also affects you. So you want to swing with Krennic first before playing him or swinging with him. I bet I'm going to forget that. I really do. I think it's going to come up, and I'm not going to remember how to do that at all. Let's go ahead and draft these 2 Fang Fighters, the Interceptor. We're going to run all these ships. That gives us 7 space units. I think that's great. And events, well, we only got 2, so let's run them both. We have 23 cards. We've kind of danced around a little bit. We can take the upgrade for the Infiltrator skill. This may be good with that Saboteur. May also help keep our Krennic in play a little bit longer. So let's take that. And that gives us 6 more spots. Without going into another aspect, we can go ahead and take the Frontier AT-RT, Palpatine, and the Underworld Thug. Oh, and Dazzle. So that gives us 2 more spots remaining. We have played every card in our color that we can. So let's go out of aspect. This is now where we evaluate, is a card really worth 2 more in a limited format? So let's go ahead and start with any Imperial units who may work to our favor. There isn't much. Tag gives our troopers +1/+1. But we would pay 4 for him. I think that's fair. I think that's a good cost. I probably wouldn't pay anything for these other units, honestly. They're a little bit too high. As far as troopers, though, how many are we playing? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 trooper units. So I'll take tag. Let's take a look at events. And yeah, let's take a look at events. Rallying Cry and Strike True. I would pay 5 for Strike True. I would not pay 5. Well, maybe I would pay 5 for Rallying Cry. Each friendly unit gains raid 2 this phase. Pay 5. I mean, that's at the end of the game. That can make a difference. You know what? Let's take out tag and let's try 2 Rallying Cries instead. Let's see what happens. We're going to save and close. In draft, you only need a 30 card deck, which we hit. And we're going to go straight into the game now. So let's see how we did here. Looks like the AI is putting us up against Sabine Wren. So she has the ability of dealing 1 damage to each base just by exhausting herself. And when she comes into play, which is going to be pretty early, early as turn 3, she can deal 1 damage to each base when she attacks. She has 5 health, so she's stronger than IG-88, so we got to do some more damage until open fire is able to kill her, but I think we got some options there. No mulligan for us. We're going to take what we got. We got to make some tough decisions. We have multiple Ruthless Raiders in our deck, so I don't mind getting rid of one of those, and the only card we can play this turn is Admiral Ozzel, so that's probably the one we're going to pick. I think I'll drop the Fang Fighter as well, so no space units. That leaves 5 more in our deck. It's important that I remember that. AI plays Rebel Pathfinder. Let's just go ahead and play our Ozzel and move on. Of course, with Sabine decks, you can always plan on them using their ability. So you'll probably always be able to keep the initiative with them. So great counters against Sabine decks are going to be cards like Baze Malbus, who when you have initiative, you get to have Sentinel. Star Viper Consortium, because we have initiative, you get a Restore 2, things like that. Starwing Scout, when it dies, you draw 2 cards. So initiative is really important against Sabine, obviously. So if you can use it to your advantage, do that. All right, we got a kill event. We have another Rugged Survivors. I don't really want to give them up. We also have Make an Opening, which is a little bit of a small kill card here. We drop the Interceptor, that only leaves us with 4 more space units. I guess we're going to drop Make an Opening. Death Trooper can come in this turn and we get to go first. So let's go ahead and use the ability of Admiral Ozzel. Put in the Death Trooper. And we're going to go ahead and damage Ozzel here. So he has 1 point of damage. He can hit now for 3 if he's attacked because of Krennic. And we'll do 2 damage to the Pathfinder. That allows our Death Trooper to be untapped because of Ozzel's ability. We're going to swing and we're going to take out 2 tubes right now. So 2 tubes makes can give another red unit, raid 2. That's dangerous with a card like Sabine for sure. AI plays the Lothal Insurgent, and since they played another card, I drew a card and discarded a card. Not my choice. It has to be the one I draw. And it was the Death Star Stormtrooper. So there goes my low cost unit there. I'm going to go ahead and take the initiative. AI has 2 more actions. One they're going to use to hit me with Sabine Wren. And then they'll use the Rebel Pathfinder, I'm sure. Oh, there it is. They take out the Death Trooper. They kill themselves. That's a fine trade for me. What is not good for me is making these decisions. We have another Ruthless Raider here, but we've already lost 1. I don't really want to lose a second. So it's Rugged Survivors or the Interceptor. I'm going to drop the Interceptor because we haven't seen any space units hit the board yet. And we're going to go ahead and use an action ability to put Fifth Brother in play. Again, since we're going first, the AI never gets to use the other part of this ability of each opponent may ready a unit because all their units are already readied. So I think that's good. We're going to go ahead and swing with the Fifth Brother. Let's swing into Lothal Insurgent. We're going to get that out of here. Luckily, the brother can do the damage without Krennic's ability, so we're not going to hurt him anymore. We'll kill the Insurgent. We'll get a +1 for ourselves. Out comes 2 tubes. Because the opponent has already played Fighters for Freedom, every time they play another red card, they deal 1 damage to my base. So finally, they're ahead. They're at 28, I'm at 27, and guess what? I'm about to take a hit from Sabine Wren a few times. She uses her ability, smart. I've taken the initiative, so the opponent has all the remaining actions. They use 1 to deploy, they use 1 to swing with Sabine. She attacks the Fifth Brother to kill him, and on attack, she can deal 1 damage to a base. So smart of her to get the Fifth Brother out. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Underworld Thug. We are now at 5 resources. Rugged Survivors is not an Imperial unit, so Admiral Ozzel cannot be used here. We are close to, Krennic can come out this turn, which I think is important. We have Saboteur on the Fighters for Freedom. I think what we're going to do is use the ability of Ozzel, and we're going to go ahead and put the Cell Block Guard into play. Cell Block Guard is going to go ahead and attack. Oh, he doesn't get ambush. I'm sorry. Doesn't get ambush. Krennic, the AI swings with 2 tubes first. Gives Fighters for Freedom that raid bonus. And our cell block guard is a little bit tougher. So we hit for 4 now. Since we hit for 4 and the Fighters for Freedom have Saboteur, we're going to go ahead and just hit them, because if not, they're going to hit us for quite a bit of damage. So it's out of play. Out comes a Star Wing Scout. Not intimidated by that. We have some answers. Krennic can come out this turn, but if he swings, we lose the initiative and that Star Wing Scout gets a little bit better. So let's take the initiative now. Wow, a third 2 tubes? What is the AI doing? How do they have 3 2 tubes? Oh my gosh. I mean, you can run as many as you draft, that's for sure, but that's a lot. So we slowed down a bit just because we wanted to play some things a little bit wisely here. I'm going to go ahead and drop Wolf, I think, because I need to hit that 6. And we get to go first again, so let's use Ozzel's ability, play an Imperial unit and ready it. That's right, Ruthless Raider is Imperial. We'll put him into play. Deals 2 damage to a unit and 2 damage to the base. So we can take out Sabine, we can take out the Star Wing Scout. We can take out 2 tubes. A lot of options here. Star Wing Scout hits for 4, so that's kind of my first choice. Sabine hits for 3. 2 tubes can hit for 2, but makes Sabine hit a little bit harder. I think I'm going to go for the Star Wing Scout. Get it out of there, because that way I'm okay with losing initiative. Put Krennic into play now. 2 tubes is going to swing. Makes sense. Give Sabine that raid bonus. But Sabine only has 2 health, so we're going to go ahead and use our Krennic here and get her out of the board. We take 2 damage ourselves. That works perfectly. We lose the initiative for the first time in this game, and we'll swing with that Ruthless Raider. All right, we're at 22. AI's at 21. Our favor. They did play K2SO, who has Overwhelm, and when he dies, he can deal 3 damage to a base or make you discard 1 card from your hand. Always do the 3 damage. Just do the 3 damage. If your opponent has more than 1 card, it's never worth it. Also, if you're playing aggressive, you're going to want to do the 3 damage anyway. But he is definitely one of my favorite characters. I really want to see that Emperor Palpatine, so we need to get to 8 resources. So we'll drop 1 more space unit. Out comes Sabine Wren. Now we can't use Ozzel's ability, or he's going to untap Sabine Wren here. So we're going to have to do something else. Krennic's going to go ahead and swing on the 2 tubes. We're going to get him out of play. We'll heal our base by 2, and we get rid of the unit who can give K2SO raid. AI takes out Admiral Ozzel and hits us with 3 with that Overwhelm. No big deal. Let's play Rugged Survivors. That's going to be great with a card like Krennic. We're going to draw a card as long as our leader's in play, and that's exactly what we're going to have. So Krennic can take some damage here, and if the AI really wants to focus on him, then they should. Let's play the First Legion Snowtrooper. We'll be hitting that K2SO next turn, and then we'll hit the base for 4. It's 16 to 20, our favor. We have 4 units in play. AI only has 2. And we're going to drop the Braggart. So definitely be playing this Infiltrator skill on Krennic if he survives. Here comes that Snowspeeder. Oh, poor move. Poor move. If you have the Snowspeeder, you hit Krennic. You ambush and you hit Krennic, not the Rugged Survivors. Bad move there. Let's go ahead and swing while we have Krennic still available. Yep, we'll swing on Sabine with the Rugged Survivors. We have Grit. We'll do 7 points of damage. We'll get it out of here. We're going to die ourselves, but we at least drew a card. AI, not taking out Krennic. That's the problem. AI is not always going to make the best decisions, so I have no problem pointing it out to you guys what should have happened. Krennic should be dead, but he's not, and we've taken advantage of that. If you're wondering why I didn't use Krennic earlier and I used the Rugged Survivors, it's because I'd rather draw a card, and I'd rather keep my opponent's board clear. So yes, I could have hit their base for a lot. They would be at like 2 points, so maybe I guess I could have won. But who knows how many of my units would have survived. We're controlling this game really well. So again, I'm not too worried about it. A lot of different options here. Let's just go ahead and play them slowly here. Siege tank. And an open fire. Snowspeeder's out. They're at 5. The game is ours, even if they go first. Red, white isn't going to have that many options for us. We're at 8, and I'll play the second Ruthless Raider if we need to. I don't need to. Let's just swing with that siege tank and get us there. We'll go to game 2 real quick and see how we do. Again, seeing how this Krennic deck holds up, I really want to see Emperor Palpatine. Now, in the draft format on Forcetable, what they do is they make it a little bit harder and they change the health of the base. So they add 4 extra health. So it's going to take me a little bit longer. Chewbacca's a good one, I think, to test against. His ability is to exhaust and put a unit that costs 3 or less and give it Sentinel. So he can protect himself early on. That's really good if you're trying to hold out to like some bigger bombs come out, or trying to make sure Chewbacca comes out. He can really kind of hold the line and make a lot of units useful. We'll see how he does here against Krennic. I'm not too worried about a blue, white, yellow deck like this, but again, that's probably me getting a little bit cocky. No mulligan for us. We're going to just have to deal with what we have here. A lot of great low-cost drops, so difficult. We don't know what Chewie's doing, so I'm going to drop the Fang Fighter, and I'm going to drop the Snowtrooper. I want to keep making opening just in case we can take something out early. Chewbacca uses his ability to give the Alliance X-Wing Sentinel. Okay, we're not attacking that X-Wing this turn. We're going to take the Stormtrooper. Chewbacca goes first. And this already feels better than the Sabine deck because Sabine was always going to make sure we went first. Now we're struggling to keep that initiative going forward. I'm going to drop the Survivors, I think, because I want to try to utilize Ozzel later on. Gross. Okay. Alliance X-Wings just got a bump from the Wing Leader. Wing Leader gives 2 experience tokens to another friendly unit. They chose the X-Wing, so now that X-Wing hits for 4 and has 5 health. That means there's nothing on my field that can kill it. Let's just go ahead and do some damage, I guess. Swing with the Trooper for 3. We're about to take 5. It's going to take 2 of our kill events to take care of it. So what we're hoping for is some Imperial Interceptors or that Raider. All right, Rallying Cry, you got to go. You cost us 5 to play, and we do not have that many units yet. Chewbacca, again, uses the ability to put in the Rogue Operative. It has Sentinel just for this turn. Hits for 2. You know what? Let's could kill it. We'll play Make an Opening. We're going to give it -2/-2 to the turn, and we heal our base by 2. So now that unit cannot deal any damage to us. It does have 4 health, so it's going to take a little bit. Let's just go ahead and swing with the 5th brother into him. Deal 1 damage to ourselves, and 1 damage to the unit. That should take care of it just fine, thanks to Krennic's static ability. That allowed the 5th brother to hit for an additional 1 damage. Swing again with the Death Star Stormtrooper. It's a 22-28 match. I don't like where we're sitting. I need to take care of this Alliance X-Wing. Fang Fighter will be helpful. Let's drop Ozzel. I don't really think we're going to use his ability. Out comes another Rogue Operative. Play the Fang Fighter. We're going to remove an experience token from the X-Wing. That makes him a little bit killable, thanks to cards like Open Fire. Chewbacca plays another Alliance X-Wing, and I really thought we were going to see a Wing Leader. I'm glad we did not. Really glad we did not. We're going to go ahead and swing onto the Rogue Operative with the 5th brother. We're not going to use his ability because we have enough to kill him. 5th brother now has 3 points of damage on him, so he hits for 6 now when he attacks. Swing with the Death Star Stormtrooper, and this turn we will bring out Director Krennic. We're going to want that restore, that's for sure. Let's deploy him. AI is going to take the initiative. Chewie's going to go first next turn. Now Chewbacca comes out on turn 6, and we are currently on turn 4. Drop Partisan Insurgent, and we'll pass. Let's put that Death Star Stormtrooper down. We now have 6 resources, so we can play Open Fire and take care of the X-Wing. Or we could deal 2 damage, but I think we're just going to Open Fire it. Let's get it out of play. Chewbacca uses their ability and puts an X-Wing into play with Sentinel. So, all right. Let's go ahead and swing. Consular Security Force does not have Sentinel. It's just a 3/7 unit, so no big deal there. First, we'll swing with the Rebel Trooper. We're going to give another red unit, or while we control red unit, we get +2, so I think that's good. Swing with the 5th brother. We're going to swing straight into the base. Not going to damage him because he'll die, but look at that, 6 points of damage right there. 15 to 14, our favor. We're just going to keep damaging and going up a little bit. Krennic's going to heal us by 2. We're at 17 now. We're going to swing with the Death Star Stormtrooper. Put our opponent at 9. I'll swing with the Fang Fighter just because. Get rid of that unit. And we're going to play the Scout Bike Pursuer. All right, we're in a good spot. I don't really see us playing that Emperor Palpatine anytime soon, but we'll drop a 7th resource, and the game is ours. Let's see what the AI does here. They play a Ghost. It gets shield. Okay. We're going to play Ruthless Raiders. Deal 2 damage to the base and 2 damage to a unit. And now comes Chewbacca. 7 resources. He's a 2/9 with Sentinel and Grit. He's going to be a little bit hard to hit, but we can hit him. Not intimidated by that. I think we're going to use the 5th brother first. 5th brother hits the hardest. He's not going to kill him. Well, you know what? Let's I guess let's hit him a little bit. We'll hit him for 1. That means Chewbacca hits for 3. I'm just afraid he's going to hit the 5th brother and I'll waste a lot of damage. Didn't happen. Again, 5th brother can only hit him for 6, so we're not going to finish it off. I should just use it now. I have this feeling he's going to go through. Like, Chewbacca wants this damage. He definitely wants the damage. Because now he hits for like 9. And here he comes. Yeah, that's the dangerous part of Chewbacca. He should have swung on Krennic, but that 5 is threatening, and he knows we got to get through him still. We'll swing with the Partisan Insurgent. AI doesn't have any other units in play. And we can swing for a total of 5. Oh, man, we're not going to get it. We have to go first. Scout Bike Trooper, though, is going to hit for 4. So it has +3, +1. So 4. So it hits for 5. Not enough. Not enough. I don't know. It all comes down to the AI. All comes down to the AI. Let's go ahead and heal. AI definitely is going to get us, though. All they got to do is hit us once. Sometimes the AI doesn't or prefers to play a card, but it's theirs. So that Chewbacca was really good. I should have taken out that X-Wing when I had the chance, but I did not. And here comes the Ghost. It gets us. Good job, AI. Close game. But again, if you recall, the AI had 4 additional health at the start, so I would have had it. But I don't mind taking the L when we're just trying to improve ourselves, right? So I think that's great. Let's just go ahead and head back to the draft portion. We're going to forfeit the rest of this match, and we're going to open 3 more packs. Let's go ahead. I'm going to definitely avoid Krennic this time. Chewbacca or Boba Fett. Always Boba. Let's go Boba Fett here. Sabine Wren or Cassian Andor. You know, Sabine's always going to be the better choice out of the 2, but because I haven't really done much with Cassian, I'm going to pick him. He's 6 cost, meaning he doesn't come out till turn 5. He has Saboteur, so you can get past Sentinel. And when you deal damage to an enemy base, you may draw a card. Use this ability only once a round. When he's not deployed, if the opponent's base has taken 3 points of damage, you can exhaust him to draw a card. So we'll pick Cassian. And Jin Urso. Okay. So we have double yellow and double white. So picking a yellow or picking a white is probably going to be our first choices, unless we see a bomb that just stands out for the two. Cards that are going to probably matter the most for like Boba Fett is going to be like Fett's Fire Spray, Bounty Hunter Crew. Really a lot of any other villain control cards I think will be great. Cassian, though, you just want to be dealing a lot of damage over time. So Jin's kind of same thing. Saw Gerrera, I can make a whole force a Rogue One. Saw's ability is an additional cost. Each opponent may play an event. They must deal 2 damage to their base. So fun in multiplayer, maybe not so much in limited like this. But if your opponent doesn't have an event, then they don't really get an advantage of the card. So I think that's neat. A Death Trooper, a Sabine Wren. Nothing here stands out to me, honestly. I think we're probably going to take the Sabine. Let's look at this new card, Swoop Racer. Swoops. You don't see many swoops. You see speeder bikes in Star Wars. We don't see that many swoops. I think we finally got to see a swoop in the Book of Boba Fett series in the official canon. But in the Legends canon, they were pretty popular, especially in Shadows of the Empire. The comic, the game, the book, they mention those swoops all the time. Luke had to go to town on some swoop gangs. 3 cost. It's good. It's yellow, so it kind of fits what we were talking about, of like we can pick a generic yellow card or a generic hero card. Red is definitely a commitment. So I think I'm just going to take the generic hero card. It's not, or generic yellow card. I realize that's not a great choice, pick one, but for the leaders we have, they seem to work a little bit better. Same thing here. Syndicate Lackeys is strong. It's 5. It hits for 5 and has ambush. It's also mono yellow, so you can play it with hero or villain. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it. I do want to point out any new cards we got. So another new one released this past weekend is Smoke and Cinders. Luke Skywalker looking at his childhood home destroyed. Cost you 5. Each player discards all but 2 cards from their hand. Every player, that means you. So you will discard all but 2 cards as well. So if your opponent has more cards than you, it's great. If you have no cards, it's great. If you have 2 cards, it's great. But you're paying 5. We're going to take the Syndicate Lackeys again. It's that single yellow, so we can play Jin or Boba Fett. And here comes Cunning. I like Cunning, but I don't know if I like it in limited play. Choose 2 in any order. Return a non-leader unit with 4 or less to its owner's hand. Okay. Stalls. Give a unit -4, -0 this phase. Stalls or allows you to kill one. Exhaust up to 2 units. Stall. And the opponent discards a random card from their hand. You know, they choose it. Or no, it's random, so could be great. Jose, thanks for the feedback. Jose saying he loves the content. New to the Star Wars is your first TCG. That's awesome. Welcome to the trading card game world. Appreciate you. Thanks for the comments there. Hopefully you're excited, Jose. If you know what color you're already looking to play, let me know. But this is great. I wish this was my first TCG, but for me it was Star Wars from Decipher as a kid. I found the packs, fell in love right before the special edition came out. They made a special edition pack right before the movie, so I was playing before that movie came out, and it was a complicated game, but I love Star Wars, and that's where I finally found, you know, cards that I can sit down and actually play. And from there, it's just been a love story since. So I want to say, how many card games have I played now? Too many. Star Wars is really the only one I've played very competitively. You know, outside of that, Magic, Final Fantasy, and Grand Archive, with really Magic, Star Wars, and Grand Archive being the only ones that I've ever gone to like bigger events for. Star Wars was a lot of LCG, a lot of the Destiny one, a lot of big events there. Grand Archive, I went to their first big ascent down in Texas. Excited always for that. And Final Fantasy, I've gone to a couple Material Cups, but I just play that one really for fun. Same with Grand Archive. It's all fun for me, not so much a competitive aspect here as it has been for Star Wars. Magic, I've enjoyed Magic, but never something I've wanted to do the grind more than I did. So, but I'm glad. I see a lot of people coming in as their first TCG, and as someone who's had to go through so many awkward phases, I think it's great. I think it's great people are checking this one out. We got to make a decision. What are we on? Pick 3. We have mostly picked yellow. We haven't committed to villain or hero, and I think that's fine. Again, we do not have to. Let's take that snapshot reflexes. Oh, I love that, Jose. Jose, you've recently signed up for a pre-release at his local game store, and he's sticking with my advice of focusing on Vader and Luke. I think you're right. If you're feeling comfortable with those two, as you would if you're going to any events, or maybe you're trying Forcetable and you don't know how to build a deck yet, you can play the starters of those two, and you find the synergies early on. I've said this a few times, and I'm going to say it Saturday when I do some more pre-release training. The starter decks already have the colors built, so you see the synergies. The goal of those starter decks is to make it easier for people to play this game, whether competitive or casual. So a lot of this first set builds around those two units, Luke and Vader. A lot more green, red, and black cards lean towards them. For Luke, a lot more blue, white, and yellow cards will lean towards him. The idea of this is, if you have a limited budget, if you're a kid, right? Like if I go back and I'm 11 years old getting into this game, I probably am going to buy the starter deck because it's the best value, right? 2 full decks I can play, and then I'm buying packs to build upon it. That's the goal, right? So a lot of this set is going to help complement those two. So if you focus on those two as leaders that you're guaranteed to get in the pre-release, you have an idea of strategies you can build around. Now, if you don't get any good green cards like a Super Laser Technician, Vader's tougher to get out. But if you're getting Super Laser Technicians, you may be able to get them out 2 turns early, and that'd be insane. So anyway, I'll talk more about that on Saturday for those interested. We got to pick a card. There's nothing in here except Outmaneuver, that's yellow. Sneak Attack. Play a unit from your hand. It costs 3 less. Enters play ready, and at the start of your regroup phase, defeat it. A good card like this would be what's his name? Greedo. Greedo's great. Greedo's great for that because when he dies, you could trigger his on death ability. I think that's neat. So we're gonna pick something. I don't know what. We got red, white, and yellow here. I'm gonna go take a Gorilla Attack Pod. I like it as a 6-cost unit. I think it's awesome. I like its health. I like that it has grit. It's foil, so I'm just gonna take it. Fits with Cassian if we go Cassian's route. And here you go, a heavy villain deck, or a villain pack here. Occupier Siege Tank would be the only one that would really work for us if we don't make a decision on Jyn or Boba Fett. I think I'm going to take the Bounty Hunter crew, though. I also love Power of the Dark Side. Let's take Bounty Hunter crew. I don't have many events yet, but that ambush is solid. It's good for 4/4. Let's take that now. A second Swoop Racer, an Outer Rim Headhunter. Good if you have a leader out. I mean, so it's fine either way. It has raid 1, so it hits for 2, but better with the leader out, so you can exhaust a non-leader unit. Let's go for that control package. It's also a single yellow, so it's better than the Swoop Racer. And then we see another Bounty Hunter crew, a Crafty Smuggler, 7 Fleet Defender, and a No Good to Me Dead. I think we're really making a case for Boba Fett here. Well, second No Good to Me Dead definitely makes a case for that. We're going to be able to exhaust a couple of units. Not a big fan of the art, but that's okay. That's all right. Heavy hero here. We haven't really committed, we're still in pack 1, so we can still switch. We don't have that many villain cards. So when looking at a card like Jyn Erso, I think the gunship is going to be good because it has that early ambush, and we don't have that many space units yet. So let's go with it. Nothing really in our colors except for the Fang Fighter, so we'll pick that. And here's some more yellow black. 7 Fleet Defender. Look how Cunning comes back around, and Attack Pattern Delta. I think this will happen a lot. Those double aspect cards people don't want to commit to too early, but they really are game deciding. Attack Pattern Delta is really strong. right? If you play this, look how much damage is on the board as long as you have 3 units. That's 6 extra damage. That's 6 extra health. Like 3 units can just change the game with 6 extra damage, especially if they're all 2s. So that's 12 points of damage. And that extra health makes the difference, right? I was doing some playtesting the other night, and I think it was Tuesday. I was doing some playtesting, and AI played Attack Pattern Delta on me, and I could not get through the board. I just couldn't push through because of that. So great card. Don't sleep on it. Watch out. That's for sure. I'm going to take the Defender for that shielded unit. Some green here. Let's take the Technician. If I get to play some Boba Fett with some green, that's going to be cool. We got General Krell, another double green unit, and a Blizzard Assault AT-AT. I'll take the AT-AT because it's villainous. It is high cost. If I end up putting it in my deck, it'll probably just be a resource. And we're stuck with Protector. So we finished pack 1. We have 6 ground units, and it's it's a mix mash of units, right? So Swoop Racer, Syndicate Lackeys can go with Jin or Boba. Gorilla Attack Pod really can go with Cassian, but I think Cassian's out at this point. We really didn't find any strong red or white to build on him. So let's count them out. We're just looking at yellow. So Jin can't really play crew or technician. So, you know, we're really making a deciding factor now, going into pack 2, villain or hero. Here we're pretty split. Hero, villain, neutral, and villain. So heavy, what do we at? 1, 2, 3, 4 villain cards and only 1 hero card. Well, yeah, we'll probably go Boba Fett, but let's see what pack 2 brings us. A foil Swoop Racer. That's cool. The Ghost. ISB Agent. Great low-cost card. Seasoned Shore Trooper. Strike True. Some good stuff here. Now, we're probably going to be playing Boba. We're going to be playing Boba Green if we go that route. And again, just some good cards. Shore Trooper gets stronger the more you play it. ISB Agent. Now, if you know Boba, what Boba can do, his ability essentially allows you to play a couple extra cards a turn than you wouldn't have. So the problem with Boba is if he can make a unit leave play, you may see him play 2 cards a turn where originally he could play 1, or maybe he's going to play 3 cards a turn when he could originally only play 2. When he becomes deployed, he now says when he completes an attack, that's the new trigger. When he completes an attack, if a unit left play this phase, ready 2 resources. So that means on 1 turn, he's going to be able to, like if he does it right, the turn he deploys, he could exhaust, ready a resource, deploy, attack, ready 2 resources. He could have 3 resources back after already spending 5. So pretty wild there. Well, how do we want to take advantage of that though? I think maybe ISB Agent and hope that Shore Trooper or Strike True come back. Actually, I'm going to take Strike True. I think that's going to work better with our ambush guys. Bounty Hunter crew here. Let's focus on something else. Mining Guild TIE Fighter so we can pay 2 and draw a card. Let's fill it up. We're definitely probably going to be doing some villain in black now. Lot of red here. A lot of good red. If you haven't seen this card, this one was spoiled this week, but it was also revealed during the weekend community event. Bombing Run. Choose an arena, grounder space. Deal 3 damage to each unit in that arena for 5. For 5 costs, you can damage everyone in that arena. That means your guys, their guys. It's really cool. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. Let's go ahead and take Surprise Strike, though. That's going to come in handy. All right. Nothing big here, but a Super Laser Technician can get us Boba a little bit faster, and hopefully we'll see some bigger units. Bib Fortuna was also revealed this week. Trying to read your notes there, Caden. I see you have such a good thing to get started with. You're right. Caden Rigby saying this TCG is the first one to get started with. I'm with you. So I wish it was me. Bib Fortuna, 2 cost, shielded, 1/3. Play an event from your hand, it costs 1 less. I'm going to pick them because we haven't really played Bib yet. I need some events, that's for sure. But I really want to try him. Greedo and the Gamorrean Guards. Both are single yellow aspect units, so they would have fit with Jin or with Boba Fett. But we're definitely leaning towards Boba. Let's take the guards for that Sentinel ability. A Syndicate Lackeys, a Space Unit, another Snapshot Reflexes. These are all good. We're going to take this. We'll take the Lackeys. I think the 7th Fleet Defender will come back around. Pick 8. And during Pack 2, we have Academy Training and a Swoop Racer. I'll take the Academy Training just to kind of keep Boba alive a little bit longer. Here we have this Shore Trooper, the Training, and another Agent. Let's take the Agent. That was our original pack, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was going back to our original pack. We'll take the Bouncer. I don't think we're going to be playing him, but we're going to take him. None of this we're going to play, so let's take out Power Failure. We'll hate draft that. We'll get it out of play so our opponents don't have it. We'll take a Snapshot Reflexes for ourselves. That gives +1/+1 to a unit as an upgrade, and it can attack immediately. And we'll take another ISP Agent. Look at this. This is the second attack pattern delta that got passed around. Can you imagine if you're playing green and you got handed a second attack pattern delta? So let's say, 5th turn, you have 3 units, you play attack pattern delta, you swing, hit for 10. Your opponent's like, oh man, I got to recover. You play this again. Oh man, can you imagine? Your opponent's just going to want to move on. They're just going to say, let's go. Let's do this. Let me go home, or let's move on into game 2. Bib Fortuna here at the top. I love seeing that. We have 14 ground units, primarily yellow, all medium cost. It's a good range of cost, but we don't have a bomb yet. We're really relying on Boba. As far as space units, we really got to start filling that up. There's only 3 here. Upgrades is okay. Events is also okay. It's going to be kind of rough. Let's see what we can do. Oh, what card would I be excited to draft? Caden asked. In real life, what card would I be most excited to draft? Man, it's always Overwhelming Barrage. Always Overwhelming Barrage, Caden. That card is just so good. I don't want to see it late if I'm not playing green-black, but if I can see that pack 1, you just know. It's a card, if we talk about quantum theory again, it falls under the aspect of it's a card that can get you ahead. It's a card that can say when you're losing, you can now be winning because it can clear the board in the right scenarios. Play that against someone like Boba Fett or on Boba Fett, give him +2/+2 for the turn, split up 6 points of damage. That sounds good. We're going to take Relentless because I'm going to hope I can get to 9 resources. I'm going to hope. Take that Relentless, hope for some good green. We were talking about needing bombs. That's a good one. We just got to get there. Blue, black, green, we have a second Bib Fortuna, a Jawa Scavenger, and a Waylay. Waylay is going to buy us a little bit of time. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the Waylay. We have a second Bounty Hunter Crew, a Snapshot Reflexes, and a Waylay. Let's take that Bounty Hunter Crew. Caden, what card are you most excited to draft yourself? That's my question. What are you excited to get in your draft? I'll say the hard part for me is going to be in draft is when you get that nice foil, right? When you get that card you've been hunting, it's like a hyperspace foil, and you're like, ugh, like I don't want that tension when I have Overwhelming Barrage and let's say, I don't know, Death Trooper. Well, I like Death Trooper or Kanan, Kanan Jarrus. Definitely, I'm not much of a hero player, so Kanan interests me so much. Big fan. We're going to take the Admiral Piet. Try to make that big unit work for us. Jose, same question, but if you're looking to play for the pre-release event, you know what to look for with Vader, but struggle a bit with Luke. Well, that just tells me I should focus a little bit more on Saturday to talk about Luke. But with Luke, his ability is you can pay 1, exhaust him, and put a shield on a heroic unit that entered play this turn. So a lot of conditions, just as much as Vader. He costs 6 to come out, so he can come out sooner. Cards you're going to be looking to really make Luke work is obviously any force sensitive cards. So the lightsabers are always solid, but really I would say what is it? There's a force card that's going to heal you and you can deal damage to another unit. I think as long as it's force. So you play the event, I think it costs 3. Here you unit up to 3 and you can shoot 3 damage somewhere else as long as it was a force user. I think that card's going to be solid for someone like Luke Skywalker. You also want to be grabbing Chewbacca. So yellow, white Chewbacca with Luke is solid. Put Chewbacca into play. Use 1 action to put a shield on him. He has that Sentinel ability and he untaps every time he's attacked. Keeping him alive is important, as well as the restored ARCs. So I think restored ARCs are easy to put out. Put a shield on them, forces your opponents to deal with them. That restore ability is going to get you there. Lastly, always Kanan. I just think if you're finding more force users in your package, Kanan and Ezra are solid, as well as Chopper. So those 3 units are rebels, they're heroes. Put some shield tokens on them and watch Luke have some fun. Since we know we're playing yellow black, we're going to take the... Ooh, we need some space though. That TIE fighter's good. TIE fighter or cell block guard? Cell block guard. I'll take the Sentinel. I don't have much Sentinel, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. Same thing, ATST. I'm going to grab the ATST. Get that big powerhouse into play. Second, Super Laser Technician. I'm not even looking at everything else there. I just want that Technician. We got Rook as well. Rook's going to be great. So he has shield and he deals combat damage to a non-leader unit. As long as he's attacking, defeat the unit. I like Rook. I'm a big fan of Rook. Loved him in the Rebels series. Mercenary Company also has Ambush and Overwhelm. I think we're going to go with that. We have a lot of low-cost units, so I think that's a fine choice for us. We'll grab a second Bib Fortuna. Another Snapshot Reflexes. The Blizzard AT-AT for that big bomb at the end. And we got to take the TIE Fighter because we know we're lacking space units. And here's a pirated Starfighter. When you play him, return a friendly non-leader unit to its owner's hand. So there's a couple units that may work for us, but not that many. All right, we got to build something. 23 ground units. Double AT-AT, double Bounty Hunter crew, double ISB agent, double lackeys, playset of technicians. I feel good. I feel good about this. As far as event-wise, though, we can play all of them except Power Failure. So that makes Bib Fortuna and those Ambush Bounty Hunter crew characters a little bit stronger. All right, let's go ahead and build here. One thing I'm still getting used to, in Magic, you can always... I don't know. I feel like I never run into this with Magic where I run out of cards that aren't my colors. But for some reason in Star Wars, I do. I'm still trying to figure out when I need to make that decision on cards. That's just math, I assume. I just got to sit down and do the math. All right, all these cards I know I'm going to play, so let's just add them. ATST, Admiral Piet for that ambush for large units over 6, Bib Fortuna, Blizzard AT-AT, Bounty Hunter crew, Cell Block Guard, Gamorrean Guard for Sentinel, ISB Agent for low cost damage, Mercenary Company, Rook, Super Laser Technician for the ramp, Swoop Racer, and Syndicate Lackeys. That's 20 units. Let's add all the space. TIE Fighter is going to draw us card. Headhunter is going to give us a little bit of control once Boba's in play. Relentless is a great bomb. 7th Fleet Defender has shield. I'm going to come... we'll come back to the Pirated Starfighter if I want to play that game. We have 25 cards in a 30-card deck. Upgrades and events are still left. I'll probably have to go back to my units and put them down a little bit, but let's start with events. No Good to Me Dead is going to be great. Strike True is one of our only kill events. Surprise Strike, another great event, can give us that kill. And Waylay is going to buy us some time, but I don't know if we want to do it. I guess we'll do it because it's the only way to deal with upgrades that we have. That puts us at 30 cards. So that leaves out Academy Training and Snapshot Reflexes. I think Snapshot Reflexes is really good. I want to play it. But we're kind of playing more of a ramp route, and I think we're going to try that. So let's try that. If we don't like it, we can always sideboard it in and change our deck. If you've never played in a limited format, which is what the term is in TCGs, limited, and that's where you just have a limited card pool, you always have the option of rebuilding your deck in between rounds or even in between games. So if you're playing me and we have our game, we do game 1, you beat me, I'll be like, you know what? I need some different cards. I'm going to take 10 cards of mine out. I'm going to add 10 different ones in. Or I'm going to change 15. I think that's great because you don't have to really settle for a deck that maybe didn't work round one, and you can redo it. You just have to only use the cards you drafted or opened in your sealed pool. You can't pull cards out from your decks or your bags or anything like that. So always try to make sure you're not bringing a lot of other cards with you if you could avoid it, or leaving them in your binder. If you're trying to buy packs, leave them closed until like after the event. It's always just nicer if no one ever suspects you of like cheating, which hopefully no one ever does, but just one of those things. You never want to be like opening packs next to your card pool and people thinking you're just buying new cards in between rounds. I've never seen that happen, but I'm sure it can. Let's go ahead and hop into the game here. It's Boba Fett versus Sabine. I'm getting just a lot of Sabine tonight. Sabine has the ability, again, to exhaust herself, deal 1 damage to each base. So it's going to be a little bit of a race here. Take a mulligan? No, thank you. We're going to deal with or whatever we're given here. Blizzard AT-AT can go because we have 2 of those. And Bib, we too have 2 of them. It can make that surprise strike cost a lot less. Or no good me dead. But I think we're just going to get rid of both of them. We have a turn 1 card we can play, so we're going to go and we're going to pass. Out comes Sabine. Perfect. We know because we're playing a Sabine Wren that she's going to use her ability to damage both our bases. So we're definitely going to have the initiative, even though we passed on our first action. Let's reveal 1 card from her hand. I'll go ahead and reveal Surprise Strike. Deal 1 point of damage to Sabine Wren. She now understands that Surprise Strike will kill her. Sabine hits us for 1, and it's a 29-29 match. I'll take the initiative, and the AI passes. This leaves the AT-AT left. I don't really want to get rid of it, but the other choices are just too good. So sorry, AT-AT, I do not have any more of you in play. That means we know we don't have to get to 8 resources. So that worked out, I guess. Let's play the Technician. I'm going to hope he dies soon. AI plays Ardent Sympathizer, which is going to give them +2 whenever they have the initiative. Not worried about that. Not worried about that with Sabine Dex. Sabine Dex keeping the initiative is difficult. It is difficult until she's out. We gotta do something. We're gonna swing with the ISB agent. We'll just swing for 1 here. Sabine will hit us again. It's a 27-28, our favor, but here comes the unit Sabine. I'm sure is gonna hit our base. Nope, she goes for that ISB agent, finishing him off, taking 1 damage herself. That is not a problem for us. Okay, another Technician and a TIE Fighter. Oof. Sorry, TIE Fighter. There you go. I really want to ramp to 2 Technicians. Boba Fett can come out this turn, which I think is going to be awesome. So let's have some fun. So is Sabine. Sabine's going to come out this turn. I want Sabine to come out now. I really do. I just don't think she is. I want to surprise strike Sabine with the Super Laser Technician because I think that'd be cool. But I guess we don't need to because we have no good to me dead. So let's just finish off the Sabine Wren here. There she goes. We'll put him into play as a resource. It's already untapped. So now we know we can play Boba. Deploy Boba here. Out comes a Sabine Wren, no problem. Yeah, let's go ahead and play Surprise Strike on Boba Fett. We're going to take out Sabine real quick. So she's dead. Boba Fett only takes 2 points of damage. We're going to ready 2 more resources. Ardent Sympathizer swings onto our base, hits us for 3. It's 27-25. We have a full amount of resources here, so let's go ahead and play Cell Block Guard. AI takes the initiative. That's fine. We'll pass. A Rook and a Waylay. We're at 5. I'm actually going to hold here. I know we want to get to 6 for some of our other cards, but I really like all the cards in my hand. AI plays Homestead Militia. Homestead Militia does not have Sentinel yet because we're not at 6 resources. So that works a little bit in our favor. Let's see, who do we want to take care of now? Let's waylay. We're going to waylay the Wampa. Out comes this poor soldier, so Sub-Black Guard's going to lose Sentinel. Since he lost Sentinel, we're going to take care of the Ardent Sympathizers, get him out of here. This is going to give Boba the ability to kind of clean up a little bit. Boba's going to take out the Alliance Dispatcher since that unit only hits for 1. That allows us to untap 2 resources ourselves. Sabine hits us with her ability. It's a 26 to 24 game. And we'll go ahead and play our own Homestead Militia, or sorry, Super Laser Technician, and we'll pass. So I need to get some more damage on Sabine here. The problem is I don't want to put down any of these cards. I guess Rook's going to have to go. ATST looks good. Bounty Hunter Crew is going to bring back one of our events, Surprise Strike or Waylay. I think that's great. And Bounty Hunter Crew has Ambush. So we'll go ahead and play him. Trigger the Ambush ability. And we'll swing on Homestead Militia. All right, we hit the Militia, finish it off, and we need to bring a card back. We're going to bring Surprise Strike because we can play that this turn. Since we've already taken out a unit, we'll swing with Boba Fett into the base for 4 damage. We can untap 2 resources. Spec Force Soldier here is going to hit us for 2, no big deal. And then we're going to play Surprise Strike. Play it on the Technician, and we're going to take out the Wampa. So we don't have to worry about that Overwhelm or that 4 damage coming our way, and we get another resource. So we are now at 7. And we know next turn we have an ATSD and a No Good to Me Dead. Let's take the initiative. We have less units than the AI, so we have good possibility there. Here comes Mercenary Company, all good. So now that we're at 7 resources, we're going to hold here. Play Mercenary Company first. Trigger the Ambush ability. And attack the Spec Force Soldier. Due to the Overwhelm, it's going to take 4 points of damage to the base, or 3 points of damage to the base. Works for me. Let's swing with Boba Fett now into the base. Because we've already removed a unit from play, we can ready 2 resources after Boba Fett completes that attack. Remember, Boba Fett has to survive the attack in order for you to get to this bonus. And now we'll play No Good to Me Dead. We'll just play this on the Green Squadron A-Wing because it won't attack next turn. And we'll finish off the Sabine Wren unit with our Bounty Hunter Crew. He will die. That's okay. We're in a good spot. Here we go. More Ambush, more Sentinel. All these yellow units are great. AI plays Regional Sympathizers. Not too worried about them. We'll play our Syndicate Lackeys, and we'll go ahead and trigger the Ambush ability and get them out of play. This is why Ambush is so strong, right? It's answering all the units coming out, and as long as our units have a little bit more health, we're okay. We're fine. We're keeping the ground arena clear. Our units are killing around 2 units themselves before they die, so our trades are good. They're doing something immediately when they come into play. That's matching what we were talking about earlier when we talked about the theories. And so just being able to know, like, a card can get you ahead, right? A card can keep you winning or help you win. Ambush cards do that for you. Single aspect ambush cards can do this for you. Very important when we're talking about quadrant theory. We'll go ahead and put out the Gamorrean guards. We don't have to, but we want to just for that Sentinel. They're at 3. The AI cannot do anything here. They should have been holding on to more cards, but that's not how the AI runs things. And we'll just let our Gamorrean guards do the dirty work, take out that command center, and we got there. All right, we're going to do one more match. We've talked a lot this, and I love everyone's questions. If you have any more, please, tell me what you're excited for. Tell me what you would draft. Who are you excited about? Or is there a card that you hope to get in draft that you're going to grab, right? Like, we can talk about showcase cards. If you draft a showcase card, you're taking it, right? You're taking it. That's your first pick. You're obviously going to take it. Now, if for some reason, this is going to be odd. Let's say they open some packs and they don't open a fresh box for your event. So you get some packs out of an old box that hasn't been gone through. You open the pack, you open your first pack and it's a showcase. You open your second pack and it comes from a whole new case, a whole new box, showcase. That's a tough decision. You could be that guy who's just like, I'm going to leave. I quit. Bye. I'm taking my packs and going home. And if you're that person, I would recommend maybe avoiding that store for a while because you may have ruined people's drafts. But I mean, or you can just have fun and be like, I'm taking this one. Here you go, person to my right. Have fun. Now, the odds of that happening are extremely, extremely rare. Not to say it cannot happen, but it would, again, require a couple of things that the store would do. But it's always best to crack open a fresh box if they have the product available. So let's go ahead and play. That's what we should be doing. Director Krennic versus me. Krennic has that static ability. Every friendly damage unit gets +1/+0. He comes out at turn 5 just like me, and he has a restore ability. So he's going to be healing that base. I'm going to have to accept what I have. Sorry, Relentless, and sorry, Blizzard AT&T. I'm not going to see you guys anytime soon. I have nothing to play on turn 1, so we're going to pass. If you're wondering why doesn't he mulligan, it's just because sometimes, like when I'm practicing, I'd rather have to deal with a bad hand and learn how to recover, right? You can't always guarantee a great hand. So learn how to play with bad ones and you'll be fine with good ones. That's my theory. Or at least that's what has worked for me, I should say. It's worked for me. 2 ambush, an overwhelm, 2 ramp cards. Ugh, I got to get rid of something. We're not seeing any events, so Bounty Hunter Crew is going to go. Out comes Death Troopers. They have to hit themselves. That's perfect. We'll play a Super Laser Technician. And we'll pass. Wondering why the AI has 4 health. That is because in draft on in limited, draft or sealed, they will always make the AI a little bit tougher after you win. So they're going to raise the health by 4. So we are playing a little bit of a handicapped game, and that's okay. If we can do 30 points of damage, we know we win. Or if you were watching earlier, I lost. But they literally had 3 points of health left. So I did 31 points of damage. Would have killed them. Finally, an event, but we got to get rid of something, and I'm thinking I like Strike True, but I don't know. Everything does something right now. Sorry, Swoop Racer, I'm going to get rid of you. AI goes first. They play no good to me dead. How dare they? How dare they? All right, I'll place ISB Agent. Let me show you my kill event and kill you with this event. There we go. Exhaust Boba Fett to get a resource back. Certainly. We could have been playing Boba Fett this turn, but unfortunately we did not. We'll play another Super Laser Technician. AI is going to take the initiative. We're going to pass. Jose, personally, Super Laser Technician is one of my take every time cards. Yep, I'm with you. It's really good. You just want to make sure you're ramping into something besides your leader. Now, Jose, you mentioned you're already prepping for pre-release, so you know what to do with Super Laser Technician. It's just ramping up to Vader, and once you get on the board, keeping him alive. Your opponents are always going to have trouble with Vader. Gotta drop a card here. I'm going to drop the TIE Fighter. We're at 5 resources, so lackeys can come out this turn. Krennic does have initiative, so Baze has Sentinel. So something to keep in mind. Luckily, I have Super Laser Technicians I can just throw at him. No problem. No problem with that. We're going to just go ahead and use the lackeys, I think, and take Baze out. Here he comes. That ambush ability deals 5. We don't have to worry about grit at all. And that's really what you want to do with cards like grit. You just want to kill him in one shot. Don't let him get bigger. And out comes Krennic. Out comes Krennic. Krennic is going to take a little bit more damage here. He wants to take the points of damage because he has 7 and he heals for 2. Now, their base hasn't taken any points of damage yet. We're going to kill our technician, give us 2 resources now that are ready. This is going to come in handy. And we're going to get rid of the surgical droid. Surgical droid couldn't heal anyone, cannot heal itself. Did hit us for an extra point of damage, but that's all right. Krennic hitting our lackeys for that 5 damage. I feel like that was a mistake, sir. Here comes Boba Fett. Now remember, Boba Fett has to complete an attack, and he will. He completes the attack, and we can ready 2 resources. So Boba has readied 3 resources this turn. We can play the guards, but I think we're going to play Strike True. Use it on Boba Fett, and we'll finish off Krennic. The board is cleared. They're still at 30, we're at 28, but they're playing catch up and we are in a good spot. We're at 6 resources, so I'm going to stop there. I know I don't have the Relentless anymore. AI is going to play their own ATST. Big deal, big deal. We have the Gamorrean guards, but we can take care of that ATST with no good to me dead. I think though I'm going to play the Gamorrean guards though. Swing with Boba. Actually, we'll swing with the Technician first. Let's just get some points of damage onto this base. Again, we couldn't kill the ATST, even if we tried. It would take us 3 units, and that's not a fair trade. Using 3 to take out 1 when we have the advantage, we're okay. There's other options of dealing with him. All right, we're going to hold on to our cards here. See what the AI does. They swing with the ATST first, but they have to swing into the guards. So that bought us some time. No big deal. Let's play our ATST. We have ambush. And we'll go ahead and swing. Or ambush and overwhelm. So we're going to kill their ATST and ours. But we're going to do 3 points of damage. Out comes the Bounty Hunter crew. Has ambush. Hits our Admiral Piet. Smart move. Piet does not get to take advantage of that. We'll swing with Boba Fett. He's going to untap 2 resources for us. And 2 resources good when you have someone like Bib Fortuna. Fortuna. So he was Jabba's Major Domo, and then he became the Daimo, if you watch the book Boba Fett. All right, we're going to go ahead and swing on the Scavenger here. Let's take that out. Get it out of play. Just taking out some units while we can. I'll swing with the Technician. 14 to 26, our favor. Feel good about everything so far. We have 2 ambush units, and we have a no good to me dead. AI looks at our hand. AI is doing great at holding on to cards. Usually they don't, but I'm glad to see they are now. Let's play a no good to me dead. Ooh, I can use his ability. Sure. Why not? We're never going to really use it. Well, I'll use it now. Let's play no good to me dead. Exhaust that Bounty Hunter crew, who gets an experience token thanks to Academy Defense Walker. So that's good. It kind of meets them in the middle. This is what he definitely needed. It's definitely a card that can help you catch up to your opponent, and that's a good time to play it. We're going to go ahead and play... I need 6 for that Bounty Hunter crew. That'd be nice. And play the lackeys. Lackeys will get through. Yeah, that's fine. I was really hoping to play Bounty Hunter crew and bring out another event this turn. Trigger the ambush, and 5 is not hard for lackeys to deal with. So another reason why the Academy Defense Walker isn't always your best pick. Now, he played it well, but it just shows why Syndicate lackeys are so good. Crime Syndicate lackeys. Love it. Can't wait till we see some Black Sun characters hit the play. That'll probably be next set. And 2 units, we're at 8. Yeah, we'll just hit the base here. Probably should have taken... No, the Bounty Hunter crew is on no good to me dead, so we don't have to worry about him. We pretty much have this game. Look at that surprise strike right there. That's essentially what we're going to use. Crafty Smuggler comes into play with a shield on it, so nothing to really worry about. let's play Surprise Strike. We'll use Boba Fett. And we'll just hit the base for 7. All right. You know what? Bib Fortuna just does what he does very well. There's a reason why he's the second hand of Jabba the Hutt, and that's why. Power of the Dark Side. Hey, I should have played this. I know I would have sacked the Technician or Bib, but you know, you could have been swinging. You could have hit somebody else and still made me and played 1, but you would have died. You would have died. But you could at least given me the decision. So there we go. We did 2 draft games. I had a lot of fun. Saturday, be doing some more pre-release training, working on possibly putting out another video, like a primer for a pre-release that isn't just how to, you know, playing the game on Forcetable, but feel free to join Saturday morning as I do that. As we get closer and closer, I'm always excited to hear what you're excited about. Let me know, leave it in the comments, hop in some of the games, anything like that. And let me know where you're playing. You know, I'm here in Portland, Oregon, lots of stores. I'm really trying to do 5 events in one weekend at least 4 stores. 4 stores. I could do 5, but I think it's probably going to be 5 events at 4 stores. So I'm excited. I took in a lot of Magic cards this week and just a lot of stuff I don't use. I definitely haven't stopped playing Magic as a casual player, just with groups of friends and multiplayer formats, but I've definitely held on to a lot of cards for big things, and StarWarsDestiny or Star Wars Unlimited has been one of those things. So I'm excited. Since I sold a lot of cards and may have gotten a case, so plenty of stuff to do. I'm excited. So look forward to it. Look forward to hear what you're excited about. Everyone have a great night. See you Saturday if you want to join, and like and subscribe if you're having a good time.